Welcome, ladies and gents. 28 years later has begun filming. So, this is a film which has long been in the works. Really, really long time, actually. Original creatives back behind the sort of, cameras and writing and things like that. So, it'll be fascinating to see how this turns out. We've got Cillian Murphy back as well. Although, I dread to think what his pay packet is going to be for this. I mean, it's going to be huge. I dread to think what the studio is going to have to pay out because, my God... from what he was to what he is now, my God, crazy times. Anyway, we're going to dive into this today. Hit subscribe for a bit of movie news, and please do turn those bell notifications on. Check you are actually subscribed because YouTube has been unsubscribing people lately. But anyway, let's take a look, shall we? So, like I said, 28 years later, it's long been in the works. I've been doing various videos on this throughout the year now, throughout the years. It's been rumoured for a little while. I think the first rumours of this, there's long been a rumour, but the first serious conversation was a couple of years back anyway. I'm sure there'll be someone that'll find an even greater time ago, but we're talking serious conversations. But as it says here, 28 years later, now filming Horde of Rage-Filled Zombies. And Cillian Murphy is back, amongst some other individuals as well. So let's take a look at this report here. I'm genuinely interested in this. I think of all the movies that... Make no mistake, we live in a creative bankrupt society in terms of the arts, right? We all know that. And yes, there's a lot of films which are just rehashes, remakes, sequels, etc. But of all the sequels that's going to be coming moving forwards for old films, this is one I'm actually interested in. There's not many. This is one of them. And I wonder if you are too. So it says here, 28 years later is now filming with news that scenes involve a horde of rage-filled zombies. I do wonder, and I pose the question to you guys, you film aficionados, do you think that a horde of rage-filled zombies will somewhat detract from the sort of world that was established in the previous films? There was never hordes and hordes and hordes of them. It wasn't like, what was it, World War Z, when there was just billions of them. It wasn't like... the Train to Busan, where there's just loads of them. I think the beauty in this was in its absence, almost, quite frankly. So I do wonder what you think of that. Let me know down below. But hey, look, Horde of Rage-Filled Zombies, and Oscar winner Cillian Murphy is back in the role of Jim. So this flick follows the two previous films and kicks off a new trilogy. Well, I hope that there's going to be a new trilogy. Not quite guaranteed. With Danny Boyle back directing, and Alex Garland has also returned to write the script. So that's quite good. I mean, I don't really care for Garland at the moment because he did that god-awful film, Civil War. I hate that film. Hated it. But never mind. Anyway, so it says here, also starring in 28 years later includes Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Good get. Genuinely, good get. Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes, and Jack O'Connell. So, yeah, good. And this was the aesthetic that we had. Pretty back to basic zombies, I think, and not, it's not a bad one. I like this aesthetic. I think it's a cool aesthetic. I think it's good. Anyway, so filming in the UK, of course. Regarding the start of filming, the BBC reports that director Danny Boyle has been filming scenes already across the northeast of England, in Newcastle, Kielder Forest, and Holly Island in Lindisfarne for the past 3 weeks. 3 weeks of filming, right? 3 weeks of filming is almost the entirety of a production. That's about a quarter of a production. I say almost the entirety. 3 weeks can be a quarter of a production. 12 weeks of photography is, that's quite a lot, actually. 12 weeks of photography is kind of the average for a Danny Boyle directed film, which is, I guess, more indie based, because it kind of is. 3 weeks, that's a lot of filming. They would have done a hell of a lot with that. Now, it's reported hundreds of locals have responded to a call for extras to play and, quote, a horde of rage-filled zombies in crowded scenes on the island. Interesting. It says here they were looking for athletic types to be doing a lot of running, says the reporter in a video. And another older local says he was cast as an extra and they took photos of his hands, told him not to shave, with a dog with shorts, all kinds of things. but he says he backed out at the last minute. Sorry, what? What? Another older local says he was cast as an extra and they took photos of his hands, told him not to shave. I guess it says they did photos with a dog and with shorts. It's weird. It's worded very weirdly. But anyway, he apparently backed out and says, if I'd have been in my 20s and 30s, I'd have loved to have done it. Why didn't you just do it? What's wrong? Why can't you do it? What's up with you? So what is 28 years later about? No plot details are known, but it obviously takes place almost 30 years after the first film. They wanted to get away from doing the whole 28 months later. And I think that is quite literally because they're trying to get away from 28 weeks later. They didn't like that sequel. They weren't involved in it specifically. They don't want to do that. So that makes sense. It says here, they tried to repopulate and rebuild London, but the virus returned and spread throughout Europe. That was in 28 weeks later. So maybe in 28 years later, the virus never went away, continued to spread throughout the rest of the world. More than likely. I wonder what it's going to be an allegory for. Because, I mean, modern day films, there's always politics in there somehow. 28 Days Later was released in 2002, where Jim, Cillian Murphy, wakes up from a coma to discover that the entire city of London has been ravaged by a highly contagious virus, turning most of the population into violent, bloodthirsty zombies. And last we saw of Jim, he and two survivors see a jet plane and unfurl a huge cloth banner spelling the word hello. The three survivors optimistically watch the jet as the pilot spots them. It was a damn good film. And I'm keen for 28 years later. 28 Days Later, again, is a damn good film. I like the fact Danny Boyle is back. Alex Garland, for all he's worth, hopefully he's going to be on the straight and narrow with this. He's not directing, so it's not going to be a wank fest like bloody Civil War was. Just, oh, how can I make this look like I'm an auteur? Shut up. So I'm keen for this. I think this is going to be really, really good. But what do you guys think? You know, over to you guys. Let me know down below. Genuinely curious to hear what you think. So drop your thoughts down below. I will say this. If you like what I do here, please do consider supporting the channel that little bit further. Why? Because we get massive demonetization here on this channel. YouTube just demonetizes videos left, right, and center. They do with probably all of your favorite YouTubers, right? So if you want to support the channel, there's Patreon. It's linked down below. It's the first link down below, and you can support for as little as $2 a month, which is less than a coffee, because coffee is extortionate now. So if you want to do that, please do. No worries if not. But thanks so much for watching. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.